Okay, well, we should be live. Folks should be able to see us and hear us. If that is not the case, let us know. If you're smelling us, I would go to a doctor and get that checked. Shouldn't be happening. So we're back tonight. We're playing some Shadowrun again, but this time we are doing it in the One Roll Engine, or OR for short, by Arc Dream Publishing. It's a venerable system. It's been used in a lot of different games, and it's been changed here and there. I have put together just a mishmash of Nemesis, which is the free version of the game, and Wild Talents to make our Shadowrun universe. And I was a bad GM and did not finish prep this week, so we're only going to get so far in this, but we're going to do character creation. We're going to kick off the story arc, and we're just going to have a blast? Yeah, something. But let's see who's playing tonight. Jeff! Who are you returning with?
I am playing Gantu Praboa, who is a dwarven street samurai, has been sort of the general archetype he's had since the very beginning, which means he's very good at like the smashy things, but in a very, moralistic fashion, I guess. He's got a cyber arm that he likes to smash with, even though he doesn't smash that much, and he's got a shotgun built into his leg. And he has over time become kind of the face of the party. Like the face is in like the most socially interactive person, and he likes to collect businesses for his portfolio, which is well, Bert will tell me how it's doing in a minute.
Yeah,
but it hasn't been doing well lately.
Dion is with us, but he doesn't have a character name yet.
Oh, I do.
Oh, you've got a name. Okay, what is
Yes.
the name?
I am Marina, no diamonds. I am a shaman that traveled to the Caribbeans from Hong Kong area. She's originally from Japan and is a urban street artist who partakes in fashion, graffiti, information amongst the art community and other, circles, and is very avidly known because she is in the Harajuku style at all times. So she's pretty visible. She's pretty known in the community.
Nice. Dion will be joining us on occasion, so his character is going to be local that the group can tap as needed. Chuck, who are you playing?
Oh, that's me. I am playing Ivan, our mage of the group, and also the party's burning source of passion, or passion for burning. I don't remember which it is. It's one of two. I'm the mage. I burn things, and I am employee of the month and year for all of Gantu's businesses.
So like a bad case of hemorrhoids, Ivan burns, and occasionally we must scratch him.
Yeah. Oh, also, I have a dog named Scout.
Yes.
Who is the best boy ever.
Jake.
He's definitely the best scout.
That is true.
He is definitely 100% the best scout.
Jake is rejoining us, and hopefully will be a continuing member of the running group. Who you playing there, Jake?
I will be playing Kaylee, a hacker from elsewhere who got brought into the party via a previous party member's dead man switch going off, which led to a series of events that nearly resulted in Kaylee's arrest and definitely resulted in some major league property damage. So Kaylee will be hitting up the party again for more money to replace all the microwaves and EMP generators she lost.
Mm-hmm. And we do have a scout. Steven is still with us. He just wasn't able to join us this week. So let's roll into this. The One Roll Engine. We are going to do character creation tonight, talk about the system a bit, get as far as we can, and kind of kick off in the last bit what's going on here. So let's just get started. If you guys can open up that document. I do not have character sheets, so just open up a scratch pad, grab actual physical paper, hard copy, or whatever else you'd like. You're going to have 200 points to blow. That would put you in the superhero scale of the system, Wild Talents. And this is just to reflect how much experience your characters have. They are, in fact, alpha runners at this point. Even our two new ones, we're going to start you at the same scale, just to keep everybody there. So let's start off with you're going to have to pay a few points off the bat if you're not playing a human character. So Jeff, as a dwarf, knock 5 points off right off the bat.
Yep.
That
Taken
does
care of.
give you, though, thermographic vision and resistance to disease. Those are 2 talents that your character has for that. Chuck, you're a human, so you're fine.
Yep.
Jake is, in fact, a ghoul.
An elf ghoul.
An elf ghoul. Yeah, an elf ghoul. So this will be interesting. You're actually going to have to pay 10 points for this. But here's the fascinating things that we have. We'll start with the elf. Normally, actually, let me give you a little break on that. Let's just call it 5 points because some of these things kind of balance out anyway. As an elf, you'd normally get low light vision. However, as a ghoul, you're blind. So you can't see. As an elf, you normally get ethereal beauty. As a ghoul, you're butt ugly. So you just look like a particularly attractive ghoul. You're nice.
Well preserved.
You're hitting somebody's fetishes somewhere. Let's just put it that way.
Absolutely.
But the bonuses that you have, your hearing and smell are acute enough that you could actually use that as targeting vision. So you can't really read with your eyes, but since you're going to have jacks directly into your brain for the whole cyber stuff, that's not really a problem online. But, you literally can't see signs in front of you when you're in your mortal body. You also have the ability to see into the astral. Okay, so you can't affect astral beings, but you can see them. So your eyesight does work in that regard. Dion, you human?
Yes.
All right, Dion is human. And let me shut down... Give me just 1 second, guys. Shut down Discord on my streaming computer so I don't get the beeps. There we go. All right, so that's right off the bat. Now, you have 6 stats. 3 physical, 3 mental. Physical stats are body, coordination, and sense. The mental are mind, command, and empathy. This is a dice pool game, so you're going to be purchasing dice. Your normal range is from 1 to 5 dice, with 3 being average. Okay, it costs 2 points per die that you buy. So go ahead and decide how much you're going to allot to those statistics. You cannot buy more than 5.
What is sense exactly? Like, what's a good comparison
Perception.
for sense? Okay.
Your ability to perceive things around you, to know when things are just not quite right.
Okay. And so if I were looking to do trying, as I've been going more towards face and social stuff with Gantu, so am I looking at command and empathy, and mine's more just brain stuff, right?
Correct. Sense is it's on the physical side, so it's not like being able to sense someone's emotive being, how that's more under command and empathy.
Gotcha.
Okay. And again, 3 is average. So go ahead and spin there where you like.
And 5's, you said it's max. It does say meta types get larger base. Would
Yeah.
a dwarf have a larger base than anything, you think?
They do not. No.
Okay.
The people that have a larger base are the orc, can have an extra, go up to 6D in body without an augmentation. And there are some other meta types that we'll probably be introducing now, that you're in a different part of the world.
Cool.
Okay.
So I can put my points to 4 if I wanted.
You can go all the way up to 5 if you like.
Right.
It's just they cost 2 points per die that you're putting into each, and there's nothing
Yep.
free.
Yep. Cool. All right, I got it.
Okay, so that'll form the basis of most pools. The second is skills. Now, skills are going to be an interesting thing because you can go as gradiated or as broad as you want. Okay, so a 2 die in a skill is the average of someone that does the thing. Okay, so let's say you're a driver. You like to drive cars. Having a 2D means, you've been under a number of cars. You know the laws. You can be expected to be good at chases, right? You can go to a maximum of 3 dice. Okay, now here is the thing with skills. When we say dice in this game to make your pools, it's just a regular 10-sided die. You roll it, and you're trying to make matches. The number of dice that all say the same number gives you your width, and the actual number that shows up on the face of those dice gives you your height. Width is usually speed, height is usually how well you did something. Right? Now, there are two other die types, though. There's an expert die and a trump die. An expert die, before you roll the pool, you can rotate that die to whatever number you want. This would be really good, for instance, you're trying to aim at somebody's head. So the head is going to be a 10, so you might, you're trying to do a headshot, and you'd rotate that to a 10, and you hope you get another 10 in your pool to match that. The other thing an expert die does is an expert die will cancel disadvantage or a negative put on the roll. And so the expert part of the die removes the negative, but you still get to keep that die as a regular die in your pool. That's the benefit of an expert die. For each skill that you take, you can turn one of the normal die into an expert die for an extra cost. The second one is a trump die. Works like an expert die, except you can do it after the roll. You can pick one of the die in your pool, change it to whatever you want, so it assures that you're going to get at least one match. Okay, and then to buy that, you would have to roll up your expert die to a trump die. You can't have both an expert and a trump die on the same skill. You either have a regular die, an expert die, or a trump die. Okay? Now, skills. It only costs 1 point to get one die in a very narrow skill. I want to be able to shoot handguns. It's a very narrow skill. Only costs 1 point per die. I want to be able to shoot all conventional guns. Broad skill, 3 points per die. For 5 points, you can say, I'm a gunfighter, which will give you skills in shooting all those guns, knowing about guns, knowing tactics, all of that. And it would be 5 per die. So I have given examples in there. So like I've given like body skills. You can have a broad skill of athletics. And if you want to get a narrow skill, it could be acrobatics, climbing, and running. Or at the bottom there, you can say, I have this occupation. I am a gunfighter, or I am a hot rod driver. Okay, so you can go however broad or narrow you feel like you want to go. And you can make up the skills. You don't have to use what's listed there. You can just say, this sounds like a skill I want to have, write it down. Okay, so I gave you a little bit of guidance there because I know a lot of times when you say it's wide open, do whatever you want, people get a little, you need a little something to look at to get an idea. Are there any questions about that part of it?
No, I guess I'm just going to have to figure out what it's going to cost to jack my magic skill.
Okay, there is no
up.
magic skill to cast a spell.
Okay.
So you're never going to roll a skill to cast a spell. When you buy a spell, you're buying up all the dice you need for that spell. So you don't need a magic. You don't need a magic skill. You do, however, need to be a mage, which will cost you 5 points.
Okay.
Dion, you're going to be a shaman, and that's going to cost you 5 points.
Okay. So I should wait for that part, or
You can go ahead and deduct it and write it down on your sheet.
okay. So
Okay. So for each point of a narrow skill, costs
1
us
point. Yeah.
1 point.
And you can
Okay.
you can have a maximum of 3 dice in any skill.
okay.
Actually, you know what? You guys are prime runners now. I'm going to say 4. You can have up to 4 dice in any skill.
And so if I do 4 dice in a skill, say like I want to put 4 into etiquette, that's 4 points. But
Just
if I
4
want to
points.
turn one of those 4 into an expert dice, I have to pay more.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you are upgrading a narrow skill to an expert die, it costs 4 points. Okay, to turn one of those dice into an expert die.
Okay. So, all right.
Okay. The cost is different if you're buying a broad skill. That's for a narrow skill.
What's the
Okay.
cost for a broad skill?
For a broad skill, do you want to go occupation or just broad?
So, yeah, like with the occupation one, I'm still a little unclear exactly. I mean, is that equating to like other like classes in other games, or
Yeah.
is that equating?
Yeah.
Okay,
You can just call it a class. You can say, I'm the face. And so
right.
anytime a skill that would come up under someone who does that as a job would fit under that.
Oh. So then
Okay.
is it 5 points occupation shaman is what it is?
You could do that. You can say 5 points into your occupation
Okay.
as shaman, which will mean anytime you need to know about a spirit critter, a totem, or what spell is being cast, that would all fall under there.
Okay.
Remember, there is no skill for casting the magic, though. So
Right.
that won't help you to cast, but it'll help you to know how to do the job of being a shaman.
Okay.
Now, if
Can I
you're
be an expert shaman?
and to turn it into an expert die, to turn one of your occupations into an expert die, it costs 10 further points to turn one die into an expert die.
Okay.
Okay.
And I only have one die for taking the occupation, right?
No. Well,
Oh.
it costs 5 points for one die in an
Right.
occupation.
Right. Okay. So then I have one die that is expert.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. So you can be a shaman, spend 5 points, and you can turn that into an expert die. Having only one die in a skill, though, it means that you're not very good at the skill. 2 dice is
Okay.
average.
Okay. So then one expert, and then if I spend like 10 more points, I can have 2 other dice with it.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So 25 points total for an expert shaman with 2 dice. Okay.
Yep. 2 dice with one expert.
Yeah.
25 points. Yep.
Okay, so I just want to say this, so I think I got it. So if we're picking something like an occupation, that's basically just like a category of any kind of skill that would be used by that particular occupation.
Yep.
And then for the up to 4, you said you can have up to 4 die.
Mm-hmm.
Each die that we would want would cost 5 points apiece.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we want an expert die, we have to add an extra 10. If we want a trump die, we have to add an extra 20.
Yes,
right?
and that converts one of your regular die. So you still only have 4 die,
Gotcha.
but one of them is either an
Gotcha.
expert or a trump.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. Baby.
Yep. So this allows you to have, again, you can be very broad, but if you want to be really good at a particular skill, I mean, for 4 points, I mean, you basically max out and you can be really good at that one pistol, or you can be really good at picking locks. So you can mix and match this however you want.
Hmm.
Okay. So I was filling in some broad skills and some narrow skills. So for my occupation,
Mm-hmm.
I got to pay 5 to be a mage
Yeah, for 1 die, per die.
per die. Okay. So if I wanted to max out, you said it was 25 to max out my mage.
If you want to be, if
Occupation.
you want to have 4 dice in mage, that's 20 points.
Okay.
Okay. If you want to turn one of those dice into an expert die, it'll cost 30 points total.
Okay.
Are we okay to have 2 occupation skill?
If it makes
things?
sense for you, go right ahead. And your character,
Yeah.
it certainly does make sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like samurai and face at the
Yep.
same time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what will happen in game if you go broad with a lot of your stuff, or occupation with a lot of your stuff? If something's kind of tertiary, let's say you're a face man and a samurai, and you need to get through the security lock, and you make a good argument that a face person might know how to do this. I'll say, well, yeah, but it's kind of tertiary, so I'm going to give you a difficulty, or I'm going to subtract a die from your pool. That's how that'll work.
Okay, that makes sense. I think I'm getting it. Yeah.
Okay. Jake, you doing all right?
In terms of converting to expert and trump dice, now is you can't have expert and trump, I believe.
You have to have either expert or trump, not both, and you can only do it to one die in the skill.
Okay. All right. So if I were to do that, then it would cost 20 altogether to do that for a trump die.
It depends. Are you doing a broad skill, an occupation, or a narrow skill?
For an occupation.
Okay, for an occupation, if you're going 4 dice, which is the most you can get, that costs a base of 20. If you then want to turn one of those 4 dice into an expert die, it'll cost 10 more. If you then want to change that expert die to a trump die, it's 20 more.
All right. 20 on top of that 10? Or...
Yes, 20 on top of that 10. It is because the trump dice guarantees a success. It guarantees it. That's the thing.
So, just to kind of get a sense of what might a street samurai occupation skill entail, would that be like all modes of combat, or do you consider that just like a specific mode of combat? Like because I know that it's broken down right now into hand-to-hand, melee, and ranged.
Street samurai would be well versed in both melee and firearms. If you're going to want to use like an anti-personnel weapon, I'd say, I'm gonna call that tertiary, because street sams don't typically use artillery.
Right. It's more like kind of
Yep.
And the other question I had, just to kind of get a feel for how many points I have to spend here in my skills, is like I have the cyber. So I have I've had my cyber as like my hand, my leg with the shotgun, and then depending on the system, I've also had like dermal implants. So
and so what all
we've
this
done it as dermal implants or done it as armor. So I'm just not sure.
Yeah, you can do it either way. Well, basically, what's going to happen is all of these things fall into 3 categories. They're either going to be a hyper skill, in other words, it allows you to have a skill over 4, or it's going to be a hyper stat, allowing you to have a stat over 5. So like your arm, for instance, we could do part of it as we can buy it as with a hyper stat, giving you like another 2 or 3 dice in your body stat if you want.
Okay.
You can buy armor. You can buy it as armor as well, and so you're basically just adding features to it each time. As far as the cost go, hyperstats, a regular die of increase is 4 points. So like if you wanted to buy, say, that 5th body or that 6th body points and put that into your arm. Now the arm itself is going to have a particular cost, but just to get that extra die in strength is going to be 4 points for that extra die.
Okay, 4 points for the extra die.
Yeah. It's going to be 5
8
points.
points if I wanted to be a trump.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the cost of the fist, like the 5 points where I see like implants.
So if you're going to be cyber, you're going to end up paying 5 points off the bat to have all the internal wiring done.
Right.
Okay. And then after that, it's buying up the hyperstat, hyperskill, or buying up armor.
Okay.
How do contacts work?
You just buy them as dice. Contacts are 2 points per die. Upgrade it to an expert for 4. Upgrade that expert to a trump for another 8.
Okay, and then it's just I still need like a couple of die, I'm assuming, to make sure I have a decent roll in it.
Up to you. In contact, same thing. 2 points is kind of like a skill. Contact. A contact of 2 is average, and that's per contact, by the way. So there's no broad contact. So like if you got this contact with the guy that helps you sell your stuff on the streets, that's a guy that you're buying.
Okay. Because I want to take a trump contact, I think.
Yeah.
Because I want to be good at getting information. So I want to be able to take like a trump and then like maybe just a couple extra.
If you're just going to buy 1 die in that, so you're going to end up paying 2 points for that die. Upgrading it to
4,
expert will cost
and then
6, and then 8 more on top of it.
Okay. And
so
then
14 points is what that 1 die is going to end up costing you.
Okay. So 1 contact. Okay.
Yep.
All right,
Now remember,
14.
with contacts, you'll get to roll that with one of your stats, so you will have a pool of more than just 1. So you will be able to get a match if you've got a trump there, no problem. That's, so that's an automatic success.
Okay, so I just need the one. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got the hammer, like the hammer fist. I'm assuming I'm going to take the extra die in the body, like you were mentioning.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking the shotgun with the leg was probably coordination, because I assume coordination is range combat.
Mm-hmm.
But then how would I do the dermal, like my dermal plating armor? That's the one thing
Yeah.
I think I'm.
It's going to end up being 2 points per point of armor.
Okay. What's the max amount of armor I could get?
Up to like 4, it's not going to slow you down at all. Anything past 4, it's going to be bulky, like very obvious, but you can still buy it past that. Having a lot of armor, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get bulkier. It just means it's going to be more obvious. Okay. But I would say the same thing. Don't buy more than, you can go up to 4.
Yeah, that's what I'll put it at. And if I did my math right on my like cyber arm, I'm thinking like it's 5 points for the implant, 8 points if I wanted to be a trump, which I would. So that would be 13. It would be 13 points for that, for the hammer fist. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And so they would basically be the same thing for the shotgun, just for a different stat, though.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect.
And so what happens is, when it augments your skill or your stat, if that is ever taken away, like shot off or caused to be inoperable, you default back down to what your base stat is. So you lose all the bonuses.
Oh, do we have to pick? We have to spend 10 points to do shaman stuff because it says a source and then a permission.
You've already got the permission by being okay. So don't worry about building the spells yet because they're going to be fairly complicated. I haven't finished that part of it.
Okay,
but yeah,
fine.
every spell is going to cost at least 10 points off the bat. Okay, and then depending on how powerful and what limitations you put on it, it's going to either add or subtract from that.
Okay. So I've gone through. I've got my stats. I think I've got my skills.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got 91 points left.
That sounds good. Yeah. For the spells that you've used in the game so far, like mass invisibility, a mana bolt, fireball, and
I use silence every now and then.
So about 100 you're going to end up spending to get those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have about 86 points, and I plan to be able to heal and summon stuff.
Yeah, the summoning is going to cost a lot.
Yeah,
So,
that's why I want to dump into.
Okay, then I'm good to call it. Yeah, I've got, was it my body? I've only got 1 point in. Senses, I've got 3. Coordination 2. Yeah.
You might want to buy your dog as a contact.
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, that's going to cost so much. I've got 1 contact for my shady magic fence that I use.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to put the good scout as the other contact.
The dog won't technically be a contact, but the points are the same. I mean, you're buying a companion. You can call it companion instead of contact, but the points spend will be the same. 2 points per die. Upgrade it for 4 points to turn it into an expert die. 8 more to turn it into a trump die. But you can still say you're training them, so you could buy just regular dice, throw a couple of dice into it for 4 points and call it good.
Okay. I might do that then. Let's see.
The other option is wealth, which I don't want any of you to buy except for Dion being outside of your... Well, actually, no, just Dion, actually, because Kaylee got screwed and she's poor too. So you can...
I'm going to be poor as well. I may be like an artist with contacts, but I eat ramen noodles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Cyber spells and items all fit into 3 categories. It's either an attack, a defense, or useful. It can be multiple things. So like you've used your arm for, let's say just for example, I'm not saying this happened in the fiction, but let's say for example, Jeff, that you had a grappling hook in your arm as well. So you've already got an attack out of it. If you put armor on it, it also does defense. And then the third thing is useful. So like a grappling hook isn't going to help you to attack or defend, but it is a useful item, something that can do other than attack and defend. Jake, how are you coming along?
Well, about implants, I'm not sure what all they are and what all they do, but I feel like I should have some.
Yeah, I haven't gotten all of that down. I would I would spend, or I would save back at least 60 points for Kaylee Cyber.
Okay.
Okay, and that 60 points would cover what I think she will have. And if you save back more, you can add in more. Like she was definitely going to have the cyber implant so that she can do cyberspace. She's going to have a really nice deck that can hold a lot of software, and she's going to have some specialized software. So 60 points should cover what I believe she would have had.
Alrighty.
Yeah, again, sorry I didn't get all this finished.
I've also put points into individual skills from the broad skill sets on top of adding in 20 points worth of occupation dice, and I assume that there might be some overlap, so I'll adjust that accordingly later.
Let's just go through if everybody's got some basic stuff down. Can we start with you, Chuck, or are you still working?
No, I'm good to go.
Okay. So what did you put into your stats? Body coordination, sense?
So yeah, my physical stats, body, I've got 1. Sense, I've got 2. And coordination, I've got 2.
Wow. So you were below average on your physical. Okay.
Hey.
Why not?
Yeah.
And mental?
Mental stats, command, I've only got 1. But mind, I've got 3. And empathy, I've got 5.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense currently. Because empathy, I was looking at that magic field. I might have to think about that. But that's fine.
Yeah.
So you want me to go into skills?
Yeah, go on into skills. Yeah, those stats work fine. You're going to use empathy a lot.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead.
Body skills, I took none.
Ooh, okay. No, all right, that's fine.
None.
Yeah.
I was thinking about like athletics. Should I take a skill for like just run away?
Well, let's hear what else you've taken.
Okay, so coordination, I've put 4 points into the narrow skill handgun because I got my Firehawk that I use.
Yeah.
Agile, I put 3 points into sneak, the narrow skill.
Sneaking, okay. Sounds good.
Senses, I did broad. I did 2 for perception and 2 for scrutiny.
Okay.
Mind, I took the narrow skill under language for draconic since we...
Okay.
Yeah. And then education, I've got 2. I feel like I should probably take that up to 3, seeing as we've talked about how I'm college educated.
A 2D would be like, so that would be college educated.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
If you wanted to be really good in college, you could take the 3.
I'll stick with the 2.
Yeah. I think you were not a great student.
No.
Said nothing about graduating college, did
Yeah. I learned my few fire spells and I was good to go.
Yeah. Go ahead. Keep going.
Command. The only thing I took under command was the narrow skill intimidate.
Okay.
And I dropped 4 in that.
Okay.
And then empathy, I've just got the broad skill of magic at a 3.
Okay.
And then, I've got my expert mage up to 30 points. And I've got 2 contacts, a shady magical fence at 2 die. And then the best scout at 3 die.
Best scout. Love it. And how many points does that leave you?
92.
How many points did you spend on your occupation again?
30.
30. So you bought it up to 4?
Yeah, 4 die plus an expert.
20. So that should only be 30. What did you spend again?
30.
30. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. And you did buy the fact that you're a mage for 5.
Did that dump into that occupation?
No. You actually, it's called a permission.
So I have to put 5.
You have to put 5 points into, being a mage.
Okay.
So what does that leave you with?
That's going to leave me with 87.
Okay. I think you'll still be all right. You might have to down power either the fireball or the invisibility for it to last not as long, but you'll still be able to get the mass invisibility, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that's the one we tend to spam a lot. So
Yep, that'll work. All right, Jeff, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm close. I don't need to reserve as many points as he does because I don't do magic, right?
Correct.
Like it's not.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was thinking,
If
like,
you've
I
already
didn't do
spent
that.
the points, if you've already spent the points on all your cyber, you really don't have to hold back anything.
Good. Because
you don't have to
didn't.
buy your guns. You don't have to buy regular armor. You're only buying stuff that's like integral to your character. So any
All right.
cyber that's installed, you would buy.
Okay, so I got my obviously my 5 points for dwarf.
Yeah.
Stats. I went different from Chuck because Gantu is like freaking Superman. So
Yeah.
and I kind of just I went stat and skill drunky on him. So I might tweak it around, but I got 5s in most everything. Mind is 3, so average. He's always been a physical specimen,
Yeah.
so 5 in body coordination and sense. And I'm not sure if I want to go 4 in command and empathy, or if I just want to say hell with it and go 5. I'm not sure because I have points. I have like a couple points left to spend, so I might. I don't know.
So the difference between command and empathy, because I do cross quite a bit, is just a role-playing thing. So command is someone that's very self-possessed and makes people do things because of his force of his will. Empathy would be you talk someone into doing something. Okay, so that's really the difference. Is one is the force of your personality causes someone to do what you want, versus you're empathetic and you can talk them into doing what you want because you know where their buttons are.
Right.
Okay, so that's really the difference between the two. Unless you're a mage, in which case empathy is really important, which we'll get to in a bit, Chuck.
So yeah, I still got a couple slight tweaks, but I'm definitely going 5s across the board in my body. Three on mind, and I'm still trying to finalize exactly what I want to do with command and empathy.
And when I hammer out the cyber things completely, you may get points back because you can say, for instance, that your cyberware is accessible, meaning that someone could literally remove your cyber, therefore taking away your power, which will make it cost less. Or you cannot get that limitation and it's integral. Like it would be the same thing as having to rip off someone's arm to disarm them, which is not quite the same thing. Right. So it's possible you'll get points back once that's done. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Go ahead.
I was going to say skills. I kept it pretty simple. Actually, I went 2 occupation skills for face and street samurai. I dumped 40 points into street samurai so I can have a trump die.
Yeah.
25 points into face with an expert die. I put a couple points. I put 6 points into drive/pilot since I've been driving a lot of vans and stuff lately. So I got a little bit of that. So that's a broad one
skill.
I did.
Yeah.
And then I did 13 points with 1 expert die in broad perception skills.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okay.
But I didn't do any narrow skills. So everything was either broad or occupation. So that's where I'm at with skills. So I just kept it simple there.
Yeah. And that kind of jives with what we had in game. Yeah. You're kind of a master. Well, not a master, but you dabble a little bit in everything. So yeah, that sounds good.
But by necessity became a social outgoing person. Cyber, I got the hammer fist, which is 13 points, which I took as like basically an extra body, like the body die we were talking about. Shotgun leg, that's for coordination. And then I took dermal plating, 4 points, like you mentioned. So two points, character spending points per point of armor. So I spent 8 more points on that for defense. I'm like around 190. So I'm trying to figure out where I want to put my last 10 points or so. I have contacts. I got my hobo friend back. I can't remember his name because I don't have my notes in front of me, but that's back in Seattle. So I don't know.
If you want to, you can purchase same cost as occupation, just rename it to your business. So like if you still want to have your business and you've just
Steve Squeaky Cleaners.
Yeah, right. And you're doing business here now, you can buy your business as a quote contact.
Okay.
If you want to put some points into that, you can.
I will do that. Steve Squeaky Cleaners. And Kaylee would have been my other contact, but she's in game now, so I don't have to
So
spend
you don't have to spend
now.
anything on it.
Yeah.
Nice how that works.
Yeah, that worked out great for me.
All right. Did you buy any wealth?
But yeah. Yeah, I guess I could do that, but I feel like I do better poor.
You do.
To be honest, whenever I get money, I just seem to ruin everything. So, but I have some left, so I could get some minor wealth. Just I'll probably throw like maybe 4 points into it just to get a couple of die.
So the captain puts out that run like hell needs to be a skill. Well, it's there. You can take it as a right-in narrow skill if you really want it. All right. Anything else? We're good?
No, that's me. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Dion, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So let's go through it. What did you spend on your stats?
So I did body 2, coordination 3, sense 4, mind 4, command 4, and empathy 4.
Okay. Yeah, you went big on stats too. That's nice. So you dropped 5 on being a shaman.
And then I did 2 regular dice and 1 expert dice.
On occupation?
Shaman.
Okay,
Yeah.
occupation. Okay. Are you human?
Yes.
Okay, so nothing extra there. So what did you get on skills other than your occupation shaman? What else did you pick up?
I took a trump contact of the art gallery owner.
Okay.
Um,
One
and
die? Just the
then
one trump die, nothing else?
just one
Okay.
trump die, yep. And then for skills, I did 2 die in handgun.
Okay.
I did 3 die in the broad category of agile.
Okay.
I did 3 die in the broad category of entertain.
Okay. And you're just getting 1 die in each of these?
I did 3, I thought.
It's 3 points per 1 die.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
Yep. 3 die for entertainment, 3 die for manipulate. And then for etiquette, the narrow skill, I did 1 expert die and 3 die. And
Okay.
then for channel, I did 1 expert die and 3 die.
Okay. All right. That works. Did you buy, you're not buying wealth?
Nope.
You got your contact. Okay. That's all
Yep.
good. And then how much did you leave for spells?
I have 86 points left.
Okay, and the big things you want to do is heal and to summon.
I want to be able to heal, and I want to be able to summon my spirit stuff,
Okay.
and then maybe a shield spell if I have it.
Okay.
That's if I have extra to dump into like a shielding spell or something for armor on the quick. And
So how it'll work after I get this all down to paper is like, so let's say you want to make your shield spell. It's going to cost so much for that, a minimum of 10. And then however much armor you want to have on it, it's going to cost you an extra 2 points per level. But you could say, well, my shield spell is tied to this talisman that I wear on my neck. So if someone takes that talisman, they take the spell, which would make the cost reduced. So there's going to be ways that you can add to the power and kind of reduce from it at the same time to
Okay.
compensate. So I'm sure we'll have enough points to do what you'd like with that.
Okay.
All right. The only other thing I might suggest is, did you want a home to work out of, or are you just basically you do the art place and just the streets?
Do the art place, and I couch surf because I'm just that fucking cool.
Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Okay, Jake, are you ready? Sorta.
Sort of.
Okay.
I was confused on how the occupation dice work. So
Okay. Well, we can go over that. Let's go ahead and start with, okay, you spent 5 points, I said, to be a ghoul elf, because they kind of balanced out with the negatives and positives. So 5 points for being a ghoul elf.
Yep. 2. I spent 2 to get a 1 die in body. 2 dice for coordination. 4 dice in sense.
Okay.
5 in mind.
Mm-hmm.
4 in command, and another 2 for empathy.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. What did you come up with in skills?
Well, for skills, I put 6 points for 3 dice in hearing and smelling. spent 9 points to get 3 dice in language. 4 dice, 4 points, 4 dice in tracking under scrutiny.
Okay.
4 dice for research under education.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 for intimidation under manipulate. Oh, I also added 3 for stealth under agile,
Mm-hmm.
and then 1 for knives under melee.
Nice. And you said you did by an occupation skill?
Yeah.
Okay. What are you calling the occupation?
Hacker.
Just hacker. Okay. And
Yeah.
how many dice did you end up in it?
I wanted to buy 4
Right.
dice in that.
So that'd be 20 points.
Okay, good.
Okay. And
so
then
5 plus 20. 5 for the permission plus 20 for the dice, right? Am I getting that right?
Yes, because you do have to have the permission that you're interfaced and all that. So that's outside of the cost of that occupation, by the way. It's just to be a hacker, you've got to have certain implants, and that's what you're paying the 5 for. So the occupation itself of the occupation of hacker costs 20 points for those 4 dice.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
But then there's that outside cost of 5 points on having all the cyber in you.
Then I put down another 30 to make one of those a trump die.
Correct. Okay, so you've got
All right.
3 dice and a trump die. So a total of 4 dice, but one of them is a trump die. Okay. Did you pick up any contacts or wealth?
No, I figured that would be part of the things that I fried from the last time.
Okay. And how many
just to
points?
prevent tracking.
How many points did you save back?
I saved back 60 for implants, which, as far as I can tell, gives me 15 overall remaining.
Okay. Yeah, that should be good.
All right.
Okay, sounds good. There we go, as most as we can put these together anyway. So let's talk about a particular system. Chuck,
Yes.
die roller is working for you now?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give you an example roll of how magic works. This will be for Dion as well. So let's say you have your spell Fireball. And knowing you, Chuck, you're going to put some significant oomph into it. So let's say it's a 6-die Fireball. So go ahead and roll the /or6. So it'll roll 6d10. Okay. You've got a 3 width and a 5 height. Okay. So you got actually 2 matches on here. What a secondary match can be used for, by the way, is to take another action.
Okay.
So this is how you get multiple actions. I mean, it's only a 1, so it wouldn't be very successful. But let's say you were trying to take cover and throw your Fireball. 2 actions, and you got 2 pulls. So you could throw those ones into taking cover. So you do it. All right, so your Fireball goes off. Its height is 5. So that's going to end up being the amount of damage whatever you're throwing it at is going to take. Okay?
Okay.
It's also a 3 wide, meaning it's going to hit location 3. So that's the other thing in this game. There's hit locations. Head, left arm, right arm, chest, and legs. Okay?
Okay.
There's a various number of points in each location. Like your head's only got 4 points. Torso's got 10. I think your arms and legs have 5 apiece. Okay? So if on this roll, you would have just blown somebody's arm off.
Nice.
It would be definitely killing damage. Now, depending on how the spell is bought, let's say you spent extra for it in its area of effect. And that would then do 5 points to everybody in that area that it hit. Okay. That's like an option you can do, is by area of effect. Now, with magic, you got a width of 3. This is what's called your drain in Shadowrun. It's difficult to handle magic. The wider your roll is, the more likely you yourself are to take some damage. In Magic's case, it's stun damage, although it can still kill you, and I'll explain that how in just a bit. So, what is your body?
My body is super low. 1.
Okay. I need to decide on this. I might choose empathy for the mage instead of body, but the way you would resist drain is you got a width of 3, so you're going to be taking 3 stun to your head. Your head only has 4 points of stun before you're unconscious.
Oh.
But minus your body, so you would only take 2 to your head.
Okay.
So you get a little bit of, so the more power that you're able to generate, the more likely it is you're going to take some stun from this, because it's just difficult to handle that much magic. All right. Again, I might base this off of empathy for a mage instead of body. I'm still torn on that, and we can mess with your numbers if that ends up being the case. Now, how can this kill you? Well, let's say you rolled a width of 5. Okay. And let's say you had nothing to mitigate that, so you're taking 5 stun to your head. You can't take 5 stun to your head. You can only take 4 stun to your head. So one of those becomes killing damage.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So then
You're
does
not
it count up for stun and then for killing, so it tracks those separately?
right. So if we were doing this on physical paper, you'd have 4 circles. For stun, you'd just do a line through it, and for killing, you'd go back and turn one of those into an X. So you would be unconscious with 1 point of killing in your head. So you're on your way to dying. And if you got something really wide, let's say you got 8 wide. Let's say you had this massive pool of 10 dice and you had 8 wide. Well, that's 4 boxes of stun, 4 boxes of killing. You just killed yourself.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So rolling too wide is bad.
Yeah, and you can mitigate it by not rolling all the dice that you are able to roll. So let's say you had that 10 die fireball and you said, well, I'm only going to roll 4 of those dice. I don't want a really big effect. And so that's how you mitigate the effect of your magic, by choosing to roll a smaller amount of dice. Okay. So yeah, mages of all stripes, that includes you, Dion, have to deal with that magical drain. Okay. Both of you guys are able to see into the astral and astral project as part of the 5 points you spent to be magical people.
Okay.
So you don't have to buy that. That's just all included in it. Let's do a quick round of combat. Jeff, why don't you shoot somebody with your shotgun? Who else took pistols? Dion. All right.
All right. So with my shotgun, so it'd be coordination, I assume.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 5.
And plus the dice that you have in your samurai, because that would be the most.
So my samurai has 4 dice, but one of those is trump.
Okay.
So because I dropped 40 points into that, so that should have been
right.
Whatever the math. Yeah.
So you'll be rolling 9 dice. Okay. So go ahead and just roll 9 dice and leave that on the table.
And then the question is, if it's my shotgun, I spent points with my cyber to basically give me a trump die for coordination when I use that. So would I have 2 trump then?
You would have 2 trump. Yes.
Okay. So what do I roll? So
just roll 9 dice. Yeah, because your trump dice you get to change after the fact.
Afterwards.
That's the nice thing about a trump die.
So it's 5 plus 4, and then 5 plus 4 from my stat, and then my skill, and then my 2 trump die I'll do afterwards.
Right. Because your trump die are going to come out of those 9 dice that you rolled. This is actually a really nice roll if you wanted to fire multiple times.
I want to kill everyone in my party, and I want to kill Scout twice if that's possible.
Yeah. But let's say
not the dog.
Let's say in this case though that you are only shooting once. Okay. Now, Dion, why don't you roll your coordination plus your handgun?
So I have 3 points of coordination and 2 dice in handgun.
So 5 dice. So it's /ORE space 5.
Okay.
Okay. The person who goes first is by width. You both have the same width.
But I have trump dies, so I could increase my
Yes,
width
and this is
die.
now where you change things. So what would you like to change?
I assume 5. Like if I did 2 5s, that would give me 4 width, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably that. Does that make sense?
That'll make sure that you get your shot off first. It also means that a power of 5 is going to go. So what's going to happen here is Dion's going to get shot first. And with a shotgun, let me look it up real quick to see how much damage a shotgun does. It's a lot.
It's nice having you on the stream again, Dion.
I'm so glad to be part of the team.
Just like shoot it with my foot shotgun.
Just like college.
part. Let me look up the guns. Hold this. Hang on a minute.
I'm curious how this works. This is cool.
Hmm.
I don't understand the height, but
It's the higher number, basically. So you got the height is like the highest number that you have paired, and then width is how many you have within the pair. You know, in the pairing, like 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind.
okay.
And depending
It
on like
just
what you're
stacks
doing, so
the same
combat or whatever.
results. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So like depending on which system you're using,
Okay.
whether it's like a combat or magic or whatever, height and width might mean different things.
So a 5 is going to be a right arm. So we're figuring where you hit him, which is going to be the height of your die. So a 5 is going to hit him in the arm, and you're definitely going to blow his
Okay.
arm off. I'm pretty sure. Let me
Yeah.
let me see what the
Now
damage
you get a hammer fist too.
Yay.
You get a hammer fist, and you
Everyone gets a hammer fist.
Everybody, look beneath your seats. There's a hammer fist underneath there.
Nice.
Oh, nice. They got stats for like law rocket guns too. Okay. Shotgun does width +2 and stun and killing. So your width is 4. So it's going to do 6 points of damage, 6 points of stun, and 6 points of killing, which means that arm was just blown off.
Blows off my head.
Yeah.
Let.
So let's say you were wearing some light armor. Light armor only mitigates the stun, so you're still going to get your arm blown off.
Okay.
The arm takes 5 points or 5 boxes. That's why I'm saying he did 6 killing, so it's enough to blow the arm off.
Yeah.
Let's say you had heavy armor. So heavy armor mitigates both stun and killing. Heavy armor does limit your ability to move, so typically your coordination goes down. But let's say you had a couple of points in hard armor. So it would take 2 off the stun, meaning it would do 4 stun, and it would take 2 off the killing. So that would leave your arm intact, but barely hanging on by a thread. So that's how it works. Your width is how
Okay.
fast you go and what location you hit. The height is what location you hit. Okay.
Okay.
Different guns will do different damage, though. In this case, a shotgun does width damage instead of, some of them do height instead of width, just depending on the weapon. Some of them only do stun, some of them only do killing, some of them do a combination of both. Okay.
So with his 9 dice that he rolled,
Mm-hmm.
he turned the 6 into a trump die, is what he did to make that.
He could have turned any dice he wanted in that roll, any 2 dice that he rolled, he could turn that into.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out like how it actually like step by step happens, so I get the
Yep.
math.
So what 2 dice did you choose to turn into trump dice to make 5s?
Yeah. So just to make it easy, I'm gonna say I have 2 trump die.
Mhm.
One comes
Okay.
from my shotgun. One
Mhm.
comes from
Okay.
my occupation skill, Street Samurai. And so
Uh,
I turned both of those into 5s, giving me 4 5s.
okay.
So
Yeah.
a width of 4.
Okay.
There you go.
All right. So then it changes the width to okay.
A 4.
And then
yeah.
the height became 4 as well because it was 4 5s, right?
No. The width is
No,
4.
height's still a
Okay.
5.
Yeah, it's the height's still 5. That didn't change.
Okay.
It's the number on the die. Yeah.
Oh,
Of the
okay,
highest
okay,
pair.
okay, okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. So yeah, so that would be 1 round of combat where Jeff just blew your arm off.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah. Could I do anything with the other?
You
of the
could.
other pairs.
You could after the fact, like if you announce it beforehand, saying I'm going to do these number of actions. What you do is you remove 1 die from your pool, and then if you've got multiple sets, you can just do that. Now, if you just happen to roll multiple sets, you drop a set, which would still leave you with 2 sets. So you could just do 2 extra actions, which would include shooting the gun again if you wanted to.
Yeah. I'm gonna shoot the other. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
I got you. Okay. Cool.
Yep. So declaring it beforehand means your pool is just down a die. Declaring after means an entire set gets wiped out. But if you roll a whole bunch of sets, still worth doing.
Sure. Yeah. So I can drop the 1 set and then boom, I do that again.
Yep, there you go. So that was a versus roll. Most rolls, you just need to succeed. It's like if it's time dependent, defusing a bomb, your with's going to matter. Okay. The time of an action is whatever the time unit is, let's say in rounds in this case, and you're trying to defuse a bomb. Bomb's going to go off in 6 rounds, right? It's the width of the roll subtracted from 5 with always a minimum of 1 time unit, right? So let's say you rolled a width of 4, subtracted from 5 means it takes 1 time unit. It'll take 1 round to defuse that bomb. Okay. In most cases, the height doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you get a set and it's done in time in this case. Okay. So like if you're running a race, it doesn't matter how good you look at running it. It's who crosses that line first. Okay. So width is going to matter more than height. If you were painting a picture with no time limit, height's more important because height tells you how well you did something. All right. So some actions you want to take will have difficulties to them. And I'll say either I'll penalize you a die or I will say you have to have a minimum height of X. If you're doing it based on time, I might say you have to have a minimum width of X. Okay. Those come up fairly rarely. Most actions are if you get a pair and it's just a simple action, it succeeds. When it's not, versus someone else. Okay. Jeff, the other thing you could do with those multiple sets is let's say it's a multiple combat and let's say Jake's character's in the room too. Instead of taking a shot at Jake, you could use one of your sets to take away some of his successes.
Okay.
Okay. So let's say he succeeds, still smaller width than yours, so he still goes after you. If any of your sets have a higher height than his success, you can remove his success.
So, like, conceivably, let's say that was like the roll that DN has there is actually Jake. So conceivably, I could do
use
my
the
5s
4s to remove his 3s, or
right.
Yeah.
So I would drop I could use my 4s to get rid of his 3s. Could I also then drop my 1 set and then use my 2s to shoot him in I think it's the foot or the leg as a 2 or something like that.
you could do that too.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So it allows you to manipulate dice several ways. So does everybody kind of get difference between width and height? Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Width is
Slowly but
important.
surely.
Width is important for speed. It's your initiative. It also determines where you hit. Head, right arm, left arm, chest, right, left leg. Okay. All right. So let's get a little bit into the story now. You guys have, you're taking a little vacation because things got hot. You ran this op against Atslon. You didn't get out completely clean. So they're looking for you. You're practically sure of that. You did get out with Mr. Morlock. He also wants to get out of the state for a bit because, well, Atslon was doing operations on him, digging around to find stuff in his body. He's pretty certain they're going to make another try at it. So, yeah, he wants out too. He owns some property in the Caribbean League, particularly on a little island called Antigua. And the Caribbean League is comprised of many, many, many small islands. It is a league because they are pretty much their own independent city-states, but they do come together for like co-prosperity, if you will. Doesn't mean that the individual islands aren't always happy with each other. Piracy is a big thing here as well. Each individual island has their own police force. They don't really cooperate with each other, except for sometimes. So piracy, big thing. Mr. Murlock owns a bit of property on Antigua, which is a nice little bungalow on these white sand, blue sea beach. It's a tropical paradise. Literally, people come here to spend lots of money to relax. And this isn't just the brochures. It actually is a thing. On Antigua especially, the police want to make sure they continue to be profitable over all the vacationers here. So it's one of the items that has the most security. It's also got some of the least tech, because a lot of people that come out here don't want a lot of other people to know they're out here, which is really shitty for Kaylee. You're using satellite uplinks to, crappy in the case that you don't have great net access and you got a slight allergy to sunlight and you're in the tropics.
Yeah, I'm trying to utilize a Pringles can with aluminum foil around it to get a signal.
Yeah, so you don't actually take damage from direct sunlight. It's just really irritating to you. Like, you burn easily.
That's
and
what parasols are for.
Yeah, exactly. And your pasty white skin, it's just not good. But you all came out here because you don't want to die. You don't want to die. Now, Jeff, you purchased your company, so you started up. You hung out your shingle here to do a little bit of work while you're here.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to say is, like, just because it would be absolutely ridiculous to say that it's Steve Squeaky's Cleaners, we're going to change it slightly, and I'm going to call it Stefan's Speedy Cleaners.
All right.
So that's just for clarity's sake.
Right. And what did you do with the business back in Seattle? Put up the vacation, put up all your social media saying that you're going to be gone for a while.
Right. Dealing with dealing with family situation. The Steve Squeaky Cleaners will be back and sooner than you know it. So, but
Right.
Don't go killing too many people while we're gone.
Yeah, so you lost all your assets. You had to leave your van behind and all that. But, you've got access to all your social sites, so you post these things. The only employees you have are these sorry sacks of crap that are here with you now. So, you really didn't have to do anything about severing their jobs and all. So
People in need.
all in all, you're sitting okay. You still have access to all the creds that you had on you as actual cred chips. But you find that your cleaning business, it's been wiped out. Like, its bank records just don't exist anymore. All the money, little that it was, has just been deleted.
Scout, what'd you do? Come on, man.
He was trying to download more memory again. I know it.
It's just.
And did Gantu have a real sin or a fake sin?
He had fake, yeah. I think he started the game with a sin, but we eventually changed it to a fake.
Right.
Because we did like a thing. Yeah.
So you've been burned. Your fake sin. All of your accounts have been closed down, and you've been told by Kaylee that there are watcher bots to see if anyone tries to access those accounts. So that's where you're sitting. You guys have a lot of creds on chip that you can use anywhere. You just have to carry the chip with you. But your personal accounts, gone. You've been wiped from existence. Your business still exists, but all their funds have just dried up. So that's how you sit, Gantu. Ivan.
Yes.
Poor Ivan.
For me.
You had just cleared up all the misunderstandings with the IRS, gotten your tax situation figured out, and made a few peace overtures to some of the, gangs that were looking to cash you in.
Yes.
So you were actually doing not horribly back in Seattle. What did you end up leaving behind? Did your old character have a home, or were you still surfing in coffin motels?
Yeah, I was definitely a squatter, so didn't lose anything there, I guess.
Okay.
Wasn't much for material wealth other than the cred chips in my pocket. So as long as I have scouts, I am okay.
Okay. Well, what you found about the Caribbean League is that magic is, in the case of Voodoo and some more of the shamanistic traditions, is fairly widespread in here, which means there are a lot of fetish shops, magic shops to be around. All kinds of libraries for magical research. So this is turning out to be a nice vacation for you. I mean, you're learning a little bit more of the side of magic that you're not used to. You normally summon elementals, for instance, but you're learning a little bit more about spirits and kind of getting in contact with that. So,
Nice.
And you happen to bring Scout, the dog, was able to
Yeah.
come out with you.
Yeah. Couldn't leave him behind. We stole him fair and square.
All right. So Mr. Morlock's bungalow it's spacious, but you guys have been here for a couple of months now, and you spend a lot of time out because the place is starting to smell a little ripe. You're not sure if that's
Sorry about
Kaylee's
that.
influence.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of privacy there. I mean, it is a bungalow.
Hell,
It's not-
done. Oh, sorry, Kelly.
It's fine. I get their little tree air fresheners and we staple onto it. It smells not so bad.
So, what have you been doing with yourself? We
Me?
know that Gantu's been doing his business, things here and there. What have you been doing?
I work for the business too. So
Okay.
I got a
Of
job
course.
working with
Yeah.
Gantu. Yeah.
Yeah.
And probably perusing the seedier aspects of the magic community here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be education and hard work.
And did you have a real sin or a fake sin?
Oh, it was fake. And
It
it
was
was
fake.
definitely burned.
It was definitely burned, yes, undoubtedly. Kaylee's come up with, between Kaylee and Mr. Murlock's contacts, you guys all have new fake sins.
Okay.
You're all business proprietors here on vacation. So, what is your fake business, Ivan?
Oh, my fake
Yeah,
business?
what's your fake business? You don't have to do
Whatever.
anything with it. It's just your background. It's your backstory. So, what is your
Ah.
fake business?
I have a margarita shop, a little margarita stand on the beach.
Okay.
That's my fake. Yeah. Is
All
that, yeah.
Yeah. You don't actually have to work there. Just the paperwork says that you're a margarita salesman.
Yeah.
Here on vacation. Not
You're
a
on
problem.
vacation. Yeah.
All right. While you've been here in the past few months, you've met some locals that Mr. Murlock knew and have gotten, she's been through the bungalow a few times. So, Dion, what artwork are you known for on the island? You said you're well known. What is it you're well known for?
High art, high fashion, all that kind of stuff. She's like one of those people that shows up at the art galleries
Mhm.
and has like a posse behind her following her, and she'll like look at the art and be like, I'm just not feeling the message that it's trying to send to me. And that painting will immediately plummet like in tons of credits in value. You know,
Mm.
like she's one of those types where she just kind of has that pull by looking at stuff. She's just fashion, she's on the runway modeling clothing every now and then, like that kind of stuff.
Okay. And you said she's an expat from Japan?
Yep, she came from Japan and traveled over to the Caribbean. I'm gonna say that she still has her card,
Okay.
and it's all
It's a
still
real
good.
sin. Okay.
Yeah.
What we might do with your character is scavenge up some points to give her some levels of fame, some dice and fame.
Okay.
Just so that you might be, a couple die would be fine for the area here. We don't need more than that unless you want to be internationally famous. But just famous in the Caribbean League, a couple of die would be fine for that.
How much would that cost?
4 points.
4?
Yeah.
For just like 2 die?
2 die in fame, just 2 regular die.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
here, I tell you what. I would like you to make a roll for me. Let's see how well received your artwork has been recently. So why don't you make me a roll? You have a skill for your art?
Do I?
I thought you did pick something. Didn't you get entertainer?
I have entertain and manipulate, yeah, so I could just
Okay.
do entertain.
Entertain, and
So that's
probably
3 dice.
well, no, you get more than that because you get
Okay.
your. Let's see, what is the best? Let's do this with entertain is basically command. So add your dice in command to your entertain dice. Do you have any specialty dice in entertain?
No.
Okay, so just roll the total of command and entertain.
So command, entertain. I don't add fame.
No, you do not add fame.
4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's 7 die. Alright, so or 7, right?
Yep. Oh, look at that. So, what was your last? What was your last piece? It is all the rage on the island right now. It was really well done. It was something that just recently hit the mainstream.
It was a joint collaborative effort with some of the locals, and it was a dress that was all ganja leaves. And it was actual ganja leaves with buds on it that when I walked the runway, I passed out buds of weed and people were smoking it. So it was just this big, like Lady Gaga-esque with the meat dress, but make it pot leaves.
So entertainment art. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So you are, you are very popular in the news right now, which may or may not be a good thing. Kaylee, Jake, you had your home blown up by yourself. You
Yeah.
escaped with basically your go bag and just a little bit of money that you had on cred sticks. Did you have a fake or a real sin? SIN is system identification number. It's basically your it's your legal identification.
Well, I kept my legal identification, but since I'm dead, it's useless.
Okay.
So I just assume people would assume that it's fake.
Well, you're not dead. The ghoul
Oh, okay.
virus doesn't kill you. It just makes you wish you were dead.
Well, in that case, fake.
Okay, so you have a fake SIN now. All right. It wasn't burned, so apparently they weren't able to trace down enough information on you to find out who Kaylee's avatar was and to shut down her fake account. So unless they're just using it as a honeypot, your old accounts are still out there. But you're not sure, so you haven't really touched them other than just to do passive queries on them.
Yeah, that's a bit spooky then.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know if I want to.
you've been in this
I
really
might not want anything to do with them.
Yeah, you might not. So you've been in this sunlit paradise for a month. What have you been doing with yourself?
Well, staying in the dark, really. Any way of doing that would be ideal. Sleeping in an alleyway with a bunch of trash tents.
So you're not going to stay at the bungalow? I mean, you're invited.
No, I think I might weird out the squares. Yeah, basically, I'll just keep to the streets.
Okay.
Occasionally stalk out during the night to grab some snacks.
Mm-hmm.
And just try to keep a low profile.
Try and keep a low profile. Okay. I'll tell you what. I want you to make a roll for me.
All right.
Let's call this. Do you have any social skills?
I do not.
None at all.
Or well, I have 3 intimidate.
That would work. Do
right.
me a command and intimidate roll.
All right.
Any special dice in those rolls?
No, not likely.
Okay. 3. So it's low success. So when you first started to try and stake out some kind of territory, someplace that you could go underground, there are a lot of people that are homeless here. I mean, since it's such a tropical place, though, other than staying out of the sun, it's actually not too bad living on the streets. A lot of tourism, so, panhandling is a big thing. But everyone is very much, they've got their zones of control, right? And so you stepped on some of this the first couple of nights you were out trying to find your own digs. You didn't understand the lay of the land, who has squatting properties on certain locations. So it's a low success, but it is a success. What this means is you have a territory now. It's small. People know to stay away from you. Part of it is because it's not really well known if the ghoul virus can spread or not. So it's kind of gotten out on the streets that, there's ghoul living here now. Unless you want to be turned, stay away from that particular street. So you were able to find a spot and enough, we'll call it bad press, that you've got some level of privacy. But it's not going to last long. Okay, but you were able to set up a place, probably stolen electricity, pulled down what net lines you can to use. But you're starting to build your warren. Now, being an island, there's not much in the way of underground, but there are sea caves. And so what you did was you found an entrance to a sea cave from street level. Okay?
Found a sea cave from street level.
Yeah, and you're able to route some power down there, some internet down there, or some network down there. So you're setting up. But again, with that role, some people do kind of know the general geography of where you're living. So that may be a problem down the road.
Oh yeah, it will.
You might need to intimidate them a bit more later on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Just
show up
being
to
a
play
ghoul's
video
not good enough.
games.
Yeah.
You like Smash Brothers?
So Mr. Murlock was pretty messed up when he left. So he has been convalescing. He doesn't leave his room very much. Private doctor he's got there has been working on him, getting some plastic surgery done to hide all the cutting and probing that the Otslan people did on him. The other thing you guys have on your hot little hands is suitcase with an AI in it. Mr. Murlock collected that since he has essentially in his blood the way to unlock that little information cube you have, which is apparently a key to this AI. So that's something else you're sitting on. All right.
That's yeah.
So
Literally, too. Gantu's literally sitting
sitting on it. It is now become the seat of his new van.
eating some shrimp.
Yep. Kaylee and Mr. Murlock have got feelers out just to try and gauge when heat might have gotten down enough that you can return, at least to the UCAS, if not Seattle. So until then, this is life. This is life for you. Gantu, what's your contract today? What are you cleaning up? And Ivan, you're in the truck with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I want to say we're cleaning up a bait shop where there was some sort of accident of some kind. We're not cleaning up the bait, but something happened between people. Maybe rival fisher folk people, or I don't know, or something happened. But we're cleaning up a crime at a bait shop.
Okay. Cleaning up a crime at the bait shop. Okay, so here's how I'm gonna roll this in. Dion, what's your character's name again?
Marina.
Marina, you are currently at the police office where you've been asked to come in to give a statement as you are a person of interest in a murder. Your escapades earlier this week with the ganja dress, as it's going down in the media, kind of knocked off it. One M. Starling was the darling of the media right before this happened. She had come out with a new ballistic evening wear that was all the rage. And there was some conjecture that your ganja dress debuted specifically to knock her off her pedestal. And there's been some rivalry going on with you. Well, she was found dead in the fishmonger stall last night.
Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Yeah. And bits of your ganja dress were found clutched in her hands.
That's because she was there. She got some of the bud at the show.
Yeah, so what were you doing that evening, ma'am? The police officer is asking. Can you verify your whereabouts? Tell us what business you were doing between the hours of, let's say, midnight and 3 a.m.
Last night?
Yeah, last night.
I was at the poetry slam at one of the local clubs over on 4th and 3rd.
Oh, so a lot of people saw you there then? A lot of people that could verify you're there, ma'am?
Oh, absolutely. I was signing autographs. I had, paparazzi follow me. It's all over my social media.
Okay. Very good. We're having a little bit of trouble figuring out where your address is, just in case we happen to need a court order to doing any kind of, just prodding around. I'm sure everything is going to be just fine, but your address.
I currently don't have a primary address. I'm living on my own. But you can send mail to the club in question. I received my mail there.
It's not necessarily your mail that we may need to look at. where do you actually keep your things? Where do you sleep at night?
I travel and I go around from here to there. I mean, I'm staying at the tavern currently while I'm performing and working with the exhibits, so I'm there for the next week or so.
So are you being completely truthful with him?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, really good. I tell you what, though, I do want you to make me a roll,
Mhm.
just to see, whether this guy thinks you're being up and up with him or not, and how well you're kind of keeping it together. So why
Okay.
don't you make me? We'll call this, command.
Okay.
Your presence. And do you have any social skills?
I have etiquette and I have
Etiquette would be
manipulate.
perfect. Etiquette would be perfect. If you're not lying, manipulation doesn't really fit.
Right.
But
Okay.
etiquette, knowing what your rights are and how to speak to this police person, will be perfect.
Okay. So etiquette plus command.
Yes.
So that's 7 dice and 1 expert dice.
Okay, so the expert die. So you said 7 die, and one of them is an expert die. So you're going to roll
Yeah.
6 dice, but before you roll it, tell me what you're setting your expert dice to. What number?
Wait, so 7 plus an expert.
7 plus an expert.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
8.
7, and then I say what the expert dice
Yes.
is going to be.
You
just
set
1
the expert.
through
Yeah, you
8?
set it 1 through 10.
Oh. Let's say I'm gonna say 4.
Okay, so roll all the other dice. So the 4 doesn't really help you, but a 10, wow. Sent. Oh, sorry, I pulled out my headphones.
Oh. Now we can do whatever we want. Kurt can't do
I
this.
can hear you now.
Oh, no.
Oh, darn.
Time doesn't matter, and 10 is an exceptional. So you keep your cool. You know exactly how to talk to this officer so that you're not too demeaning to him, but also letting him know who's really in charge here. And
I'm just
so-
kind of sitting there with my parasol, just staring at him
Right.
unfazed the whole time, kind of twirling it over my
Yes.
shoulder.
Well, in that case, if we have any further questions, do you have a pen address we can contact you at? I'm sure everything will be just fine. We'll check out your doings last night at this club. You say he checks the club name down. So, do you have a way for us to contact you?
You said a PAN address?
So, a
Is that
PAN
like
is a personal area network, basically a cell phone.
Okay. Yeah. I
Okay.
give them my PAN address info, or I give them the art gallery owner's number and say that he's my manager and
Okay.
that I can't give out my personal number for safety, but he will contact me immediately.
Sure. So back at the crime scene. Yeah, you are cleaning up. They've already removed the body. There are still people here that are selling around you, still talking about it. This very famous person, dressmaker, who has had a feud going on with a person you're very familiar with, who's been in and out of Mr. Murlock's bungalow a few times now, coming in and checking on everyone. Again, Dion, your character knows these guys. Mr. Murlock actually helped you to get started in your career.
I
Early
bring
on?
cookies. That's how
Yeah.
they know me. I bring all these cute little like hand decorated cookies every time I
Oh,
show
yeah,
up.
there you go.
They're just like little bento boxes, everything. Like I've just been feeding you guys.
All right.
You're like an angel, as far as Gantu's concerned.
So, yeah, Gantu, you're just hearing about this now as you guys are cleaning up the crime scene.
So overhearing this from whom?
Just some of the other shopkeepers nearby. You said this was a fish stand, so this is kind of like an part of it's open air, like
Yeah.
where they put the fish out, and you're cleaning up inside the actual establishment. The body was found inside the establishment, and so the other people around you are just other hawkers selling other seafood, some beef, chicken.
Sure.
They're live chicken in cages around you.
Are there any? Is this? I know you said that the tech level here is not as high as it was in Seattle, but like, do we see like any sort of CCTV type?
Not at
footage
all.
around here.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Most everybody
Uh,
have pans. I mean, cell phones are ubiquitous now. I mean, they're but the security cameras. I mean, the center square has some, and a few like the banks do, but most people don't do it.
Okay. And what would you say the hours are of this place? Is it like 24 hours? Is it
Basically dusk till
9 to
dawn.
5? Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And is Ivan's there?
Ivan's with you. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So I'll say and we know it sounds like they're referencing Marina, right?
Yes.
Like ain't that cookie lady that they're talking about?
It is. It would be great tragedy if our cookie supply was hindered.
Yeah. That's the priority. Secondarily, if the authorities or some folks start sniffing around her, then they start sniffing around Moorcock. I meant Murloc. Sorry, it's just a little affectionate nickname me and I have with each other. Then that means they start sniffing around us.
Oh, that is bad news bears.
Might
Should
be,
resolve this now.
Now we're cleaning. They've already done kind of an analysis of the place, right? They've already done like a crime scene investigation.
As far as you know, the body's gone.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
No, what we could do is we could maybe plant something extra that we find and say, hey, while we were cleaning up, we found this little thing nestled right in here or some such.
That's not a bad idea. What would we plant? We would need to know something appropriate to plant to throw the heat off.
Yeah, something like, well, do we know how the victim died?
Stabbed to death.
Okay. Did we overhear them mention anything about finding like the murder weapon?
No one mentioned anything. Police got there pretty early. Are you going to ask around?
Yeah, like I'm just to kind of get a better feel for like what people saw or heard.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, give me an empathy or command, depending on how you're doing it. Empathy is like the being chummy. Command is being commanding. And
Yeah.
what social skills do you have?
I have occupation face.
That'll work. Yep.
Okay. So I have so I should have 7 die with 1 expert.
Okay. So is that 8 total, or is it 7 die including your
Well, I
expert?
have. Hang on. I spent 20. I spent 25 points on occupation
Mhm.
face, which meant that should have been 2 points, and then I turn one of them.
Yes.
No, I'm sorry. I spent 3 points. I spent 15 points, so 3. I got 3 die for the face. Then I got an expert, so I should have 8 total die, 1 of which should be an expert.
Okay. So you're going to roll 7 die, and then tell me what you're going to set your expert die to before you roll it.
I'll set it to a 7.
Okay.
Okay. So lucky 7. So ORE 7.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay. So with the 9s,
I like this system.
the guy that is selling live chickens is he's like, yeah, it's I got here very early, and I called the officer first thing. There was a poor lady on the ground, just like the holes in her back. It frightened my chickens. Little Gloria here hasn't laid an egg all day.
Oh, that's awful to hear. Poor Gloria. That's terrible. I'm sure she'll recover. Don't you worry.
Well, at least until the Vudons come and they buy the chicken to come, But until then,
Right.
she's been a good
Of
player.
course. Right. We want her twilight years to be, or days, hours to be, something of comfort. Yeah. So did you hear anything about who might have done this, or like,
Here's that famous the cannabis dress lady. That's what they're saying. I overheard the police say that they found video.
Oh goodness. Wow. And like she was on the video, they got her like dead to rights.
The name was dropped and they said video.
Oh wow. Wow, that's interesting. You ever see the victim around here before? Does she hang out in the fishmonger mall?
No. What? And how did she get in there? I mean, the body was in. The door was ajar, and I saw this just stream of blood coming out. I called the police. No. People like that, they send people to buy the chickens and their fish. They don't come down and buy the chickens and fish. They never come down.
Hey, that's a good point. That's a good point. Ain't that a good point, Ivan?
That's a great point. Yes.
He picks up the chicken. He's called Gloria. It's like you said that right, Gloria. Chicken makes little chicken lips
Glorious,
at him.
lovely chicken. Yes, yes.
Yeah, she's
Are you
still shocked.
thinking-
She still hasn't squatted today. No eggs. There'll be no eggs
Oh
in
my
Gloria
gosh.
today.
That is bad for chicken. She backs up.
Yeah.
All right. So with the other set that you got, well, the tens were the ones that absolutely this guy is going to come clean to you. With the 3 9s, you what would you like to? What else would you like to have found out? Like you can state something happened here.
Okay. I guess. Oh, geez. Ivan, feel free to throw an idea out too.
Hey.
I guess
Oh.
we would probably. I mean, like, if I can state something specific, do you mean like state something like that's happening right this moment, or can I like state a
create
fact about the
something?
crime?
You can state a fact about the crime, or you can state something that's happening right now.
Okay. So can we say then maybe because they had video, huh? Can we say then that there's a maybe we could say there's maybe a video at the like a neighboring bait shop too that maybe they didn't grab, or like something that gave a view of the door that was cracked open.
Exactly. So after he says that there was video, I mean, you look around to possibly see would have had an angle on that door, and sure enough, there's a bank right across the street. And if that camera's got a good enough of a wide angle lens, it would have definitely seen what was going on there.
Well, sir, it was sir, it was a pleasure meeting you, Gloria. I feel you. I haven't squatted today either, and I tell you, it's bugging me too. So I get your feelings, but I'm sure you'll be better before you get your head cut off.
Would you like
then
to
I'll
save
say-
Gloria from having her throat cut? I mean, just 2 nuyen. I mean, you can save her from this this horrible existence. Maybe you give her a nice home. She'll lay eggs for you.
I really like the idea because I like chickens. They're fun animals, but I don't think Scout would get along well with the chicken.
Yeah. We got a
Either
real
of them.
jackass of a friend, and he just hates everything.
Yes.
Why can't have nice things like what?
It would peck at Kaylee too. That would not be
Yeah.
good.
Oh, that's true.
Well. Sorry, Gloria. It looks like you're meant for the slaughtering. he's trying to
Yeah.
play it up. So what are you guys doing?
I'll say, should we get Kaylee on the horn
Yes,
here?
we should definitely get Kaylee on the horn, see if we can get that footage.
All right, yeah.
So,
Kayla, you get an alert on your pan.
I'll go ahead and I'll answer. Hello.
oh God, dang, you
Ooh,
okay?
Lozenge.
It's been hard. How may I help you?
Oh, you sure you're okay? You sound like that. Oh, anyway, hey, can you get into some footage over at a bank? We got a little problem here.
I'd have to take a look at their communication setup, but I'll give it a shot.
Okay. We'll relay like any pertinent info, like name of bank, location, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. if
And
there's
you got
anything.
around the time. Actually, you didn't. You didn't get around the time, but what time in the morning, like dawn, he came and found the body. So you can kind of guess back from there. Kaylee, go ahead and give me a mind plus. If you've got occupation hacker, you can do mind hacker.
All right.
So to get past the bank's firewall, it does have it is on the net. I'm gonna set a difficulty. So you're gonna need a 5 height or better.
Oh,
Look at that.
There we go.
Pair of 5s and a pair of
And you-
9s will do it.
And I'll use my hacker trump die to turn that 1 into a 10.
So 10.
9,
Yeah,
yeah.
perfect. Okay, I tell you what, you got a couple of other sets there. So not only do you get into the bank, but you can also set up a back door for yourself the next time you want to get in here.
Oh, hell yeah.
So you get into the security system, you hack the camera and you see the camera, you see your two friends standing outside looking at the bank, and you get into the data stores and you roll it back, and so you watch. You're rolling it back, so you see the murder happen. Wow, but that looks an awful lot like the woman you've seen come to the bungalow bringing cookies. And she struggles with the woman that was murdered. You see her pull some of the ganja off the dress, and then as she smacks the cookie bearer, it turns her around, and as she's turned around, stab multiple times with a long, thin dagger. And she turns to the camera for just a moment, looking right at the camera, and smiles, and it is the face of the person that brings cookies to the bungalow.
I guess I'll go ahead and I'll contact Gantu.
Yeah, you could save that onto your deck as well. Just pull the video and save it.
Oh, if I can pull it and save it,
Yeah.
then can I just delete this footage from the bank?
Yeah, you can. But as they probably already told you, the police have already gotten copies of it.
Ah, damn. Oh, well.
So you missed it, Dion. Your
Yeah.
character was on video murdering this woman.
Oh, was I?
And you looked
Oh.
right at the camera and smiled, too. It's weird.
Oh. Wait, did I? Okay.
Well, that
So-
leaves us.
We're just
In
telling you what the
character-
video says.
Okay, it's just what the video
That's what the
says.
video
Okay.
says.
Okay. I'm
We
like,
have
wait, what?
3 options here. Option 1, we edit this footage, put it back, and then see if we can get the police to look at it again. Footage has been doctored. They have to throw both out. They have no case. 2, we go get the police footage and get rid of it. Or 3, the cookie lady is an actual murderer and we just go and incinerate the body.
Okay, well, I think one of the things that we really need to establish first is the quality of the cookies that she brings. Now, if it's of high quality, then I will do whatever
Phenomenal.
it takes.
Phenomenal.
Okay, well, we got to
cookies.
do whatever we can to help.
Made
That's what
with
we gotta
love.
do.
They're made with love.
And
God.
ganja.
Yes.
That too.
So we do evidence tampering.
I mean, that chicken fella said that they already got the footage. So if we do the tampering thing,
We would have to
Then-
tamper the evidence that the police actively have.
yeah.
And I
Hey,
don't
Kaylee.
know.
Can you tamper with footage that the police have already collected? Because that same video you're looking at, they might have too, and if they already got it, then they might already be on their tail, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but it's totally something Techno could do. So I mean, I'm just saying.
I could attempt to delete the copy of footage that they may have at the station, but if any of them have a copy on their personal networks or communications devices, I would have to have access to those as well.
Yeah, I got you. I guess we can find out who the lead detectives are, and maybe figure that out too, if necessary.
I suppose I could find that out as well.
Is
I mean-
there? Oh, go ahead.
Do we even know if the cookie lady did it?
Yeah, I mean, we should probably talk to her. Give her a chance to deny or
Yeah.
explain.
I mean,
You would have her PAN number, by the way.
While they're all investigating these things and I get released from the police thing, can I go to the scene of the crime?
You don't actually know where the scene of the crime is.
Can I ask around and figure out what it's going on and where to go so I can investigate it?
Who are you asking?
I'm gonna ask some of my I'm gonna ask some of the shopkeepers. I'm gonna walk around the districts and just talk to people at slightly.
Okay, so here's the
Maybe-
question. You
Yeah.
don't know the location that the person was found dead. So, what district exactly would you be asking in? You know she's a
I'm
high-end person just like you. She's very famous.
Yeah. So she's high end. I'm gonna be asking about like what happened to her last night in the art district.
In the
If like
art
maybe
district.
if she traveled from there somewhere, if people know where she went afterwards, because she's bound to have gone to the clubs. Like, did I see her at the club last night?
No.
Okay, so I didn't see her at the club that I went to, but that doesn't mean that she wasn't there
Or
somewhere
at a
else in the
different club.
district.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna ask around the other clubs that I wasn't at and be like, hey, like I know this is weird coming from me, but have you seen like so and so? Like, do you know anything about something that happened to them or
Okay. I would, well, first of all, is she interrupted by a phone call?
yeah.
Well, I'm asking the
Oh.
two that might make
Oh.
the call.
Oh.
Yeah, are you calling her? I'll say I'm on the line with Kaylee. So it's up to you.
I'll give a call.
Okay.
Ring, ring. Answer your phone.
Does it say that it's Ivan?
Yes.
Okay. So I see that it's Ivan. I answer it and I go, Hello.
Cookie lady, your accent is improving. It's much better than it was the last time you delivered cookies. Listen, I have a question. Did you murder a person last night in cold blood by stabbing them in the back multiple times in the bait shop?
Yet. No. No. I like God,
Listen.
I just got out of the police office answering all these questions about
Listen.
this stuff.
We have to get to the point right now. Your cookies are good, and we don't want to lose the resource. So let me tell you this. This is how it's going to go.
Yeah.
Do you swear on the well-being of your cookies that you are innocent in this crime?
Ivan, I swear to you, I didn't do it. I'm literally trying to figure
Swear
out
on
and
the
get to the
cookies.
bottom of it. Yeah, I swear on the cookies. I'm literally trying to ask questions about it right now. How do you know about it? Where'd she get killed? Like, where'd this happen?
So
We're
Dion,
cleaning up the crime scene now.
Dion, let me give you just one talking point. After you were at the cafe and you signed some books and stuff, as you were also saying, you went out and had a night on the town. You went to some clubs where you partook heavily. You can't honestly remember everything you did between the time that you left the club, which would have been really late in the morning, like 2, 3 in the morning.
Okay.
And getting up the next morning, you assume everything was fine. I mean, you woke up in your bed just like you always do, or the bed that you were surfing on at the time anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like, I got a little drunk, but it wasn't until like 1 or 2 in the morning when I couldn't remember much. Like,
Do me a favor. When was last time you washed hands?
I mean, I went to the bathroom a couple hours ago.
Do you wash your hands for the full 24 seconds?
Yeah, I do it for like a minute.
That's not bad. Your mother would be proud. Listen, check under your fingernails. Is there blood there?
I check my nails.
How well do you keep yourself?
Very well manicured.
Okay.
They're usually clean and like kept nicely because I usually paint them. So
Okay. Would you have done that this morning, seeing as you were gotten out of you were contacted relatively early by friends of yours saying that the police want to speak to you much earlier than okay.
Yeah, if I was hungover, no.
All right, so you look at your fingers. You don't see any blood underneath them, but a couple of your nails do have chips in them.
Oh, no blood, but my nails are a little jacked up. But I must have like stumbled and fell when drunk
Or
and walking home.
you murdered someone. That
I
could
didn't
also be
murder
alternative.
anybody. Listen, as much as I wanted that bitch dead, I could never kill someone.
Anyone can do anything. Trust me. Also, the first statement is very bad. Don't say that outside of your lawyer.
Pause. Pause. Dion, make me a sense roll, and if you've got any skills, any perception skills.
I don't have perception skills.
Do you have any? So you don't have any perception skills at all?
No.
Okay, just roll sense for me then.
Sense. That's a 4. Okay. So OS 4. OSR. Wait, what is it? ORE. Oh.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you don't notice.
Okay.
All right. So carry on, Chuck. You were saying.
Oh, listen. I don't remember.
You were saying that that last sentence you just said was damning.
Oh, yes. Don't say that again outside of the lawyer. You say, I wanted to kill her, but I couldn't. Anything after the but is bullshit. So
All right.
you wanted to
Yeah.
kill her is all that matters. Listen, I am not the lawyer, but I am also not a dummy.
So do you know where it happened?
Yes. More importantly, who else would want to kill this person?
Let me get back to you. I'll make a call.
Okay, get an address too. We're gonna have a little bit of wet work once you get us that information.
Okay. Address for what?
Where this person that might want to kill her is.
Oh, got it. Okay. So,
So we're going to shift to Kaylee. Kaylee,
okay.
getting into the police's computer systems, not even going to make you roll for it. They do have a net connection. It doesn't even have the most basic protection on it. What you do find out is they mostly just use it for net communication. Somebody is playing Angry Birds. And, it looks like maybe one of the police's kids is doing some research for school. They have no databases online at all. But what they do have is that their radio systems are patched into it so that they can get island-wide communications. And you do notice something very interesting looking at the traffic is that the cookie lady has a trail or a tail. They are following her.
I see.
So all of their data that they collect is kept air-gapped. It's not on the net. So everything they have is either old school, like pen and paper and in a filing cabinet, or it's on a computer that has no network access.
Wow. That's terrifying.
That's what happens when
But
a
also
police
smart.
when a police shop gets hacked all the time. That's what happens.
Yeah. Well, shit. Yeah, I suppose I'll go ahead and I'll contact Gantu. And yeah, I'll just contact Gantu.
What's up?
They have no network to access, but they do have people tailing the suspect. Don't go out for cookies. You might be seen.
Okay, so she's got there are cops on her tail. Is what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay. I think Ivan's on the horn with her. So hey Ivan, tell her she's got a tail. Not like a vestigial one, but I mean like there's people following her, cops and such.
Cookie lady, you have tail. There are police following you actively. Do not come to crime scene.
You didn't tell me where it was, so no problem. Wait, I'm being followed?
Yes?
Can they trace my phone calls?
They probably. We should hang up. Get rid of your
Oh,
phone.
fuck me. I hang up. You just see her just like hang up, and in the middle of the street she's in, she's just in, today she's like in this mismatched like polka dotted and block pattern dress. It's like kind of very avant-garde and layered, and she's damn it, throws her cell phone down and smashes it with her heel.
Yep. I'm gonna state something that the captain brought up in chat, which your character would definitely know, and just as another tidbit of information, you did in fact wake up in the pot dress.
Yes. Okay. I'm in the pot dress.
No,
okay.
well, no, you
I
changed,
changed.
but
Yeah.
you did wake up in the pot dress.
Okay.
Basically, she's either actually killed, the person, or somebody and that could be maybe somebody compelled her to do so,
Hmm.
Or we got ourselves the case of somebody is like impersonating her like really, really well.
Those could be true.
Or she's lying to us. She's a psychopath and she actually did the killing.
Could be.
So I'm gonna.
It's that occupation she bought that didn't say anywhere. It's the psychopath at Tendai.
Yeah. So I'm going to, knowing that I'm probably being followed, I'm gonna go and hide out, in like a back alleyway
Okay.
of the club areas, but in the back alleys.
Don't you have do you have any contacts that would help with that?
I have a contact, but I just broke my cell phone.
Okay. In which case, knowing what alley to go down to hide yourself, and I'm sure, being who you are, you've got a very fashionable dress on. So, yeah, going down on an alleyway in Antigua and the Caribbeans during this particular time is sure enough, you do duck down an alleyway. You've ditched your phone, your pan, and almost immediately as you go down one of these alleys, you pick up a gang of young toughs who start making cat calls at you and asking where you got the dress.
I made it. I can make you one that'll match.
All right. Yeah, so they're kind of surrounding you and catcalling. It's like, well, what do you got under the dress? You're so good at making these dresses.
I got a Iron Maiden. It's ready to clamp down on anything that enters.
All right, sounds like you're trying
Just
to
look-
intimidate.
Yeah, I go. I add on to that too. I kind of say a little quieter. I go, listen, guys. I got cops following me right now. I need to get out of here.
That's good. So it's a command. Do you have intimidate as a skill?
I have manipulate as
Manipulate
a
will work. So command manipulate, and
So
I'll tell you what.
that's
Since you're telling them that the
7.
police are watching you, I'm going to give you an extra die to your pool.
broad. Okay, so that's 8 total.
Yes.
Now you said I can do something and like take away from the width to stack or something, or is that only?
Well, do you have any special dice?
No,
No. Okay, no. So just go ahead and roll that
Okay.
pool with the extra die.
8.
Okay, so 7, 3. So actually, this encounter happens pretty quick. As soon as you say that the police got their eyes on you, several of them kind of back away, and most of them run for it. Do you carry a purse?
No, she doesn't have a purse. She just has a parasol.
All right, good enough. One of them snatches your parasol as he's running by.
Hey!
You have an extra set there, a couple of 2s.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say you're able to you stop it from happening, but he makes a snag at it. And he kind of grabs it. And he kind of rips your parasol as he's trying to make away with something that looks like it might be worth money. And you're left with a torn parasol still in your hand. You're in a very shady part of the neighborhood. And as much as you stand out, you notice across the street, there's a guy just kind of casually leaning out of his windows. And he's got a parabolic microphone kind of aimed at the alleyway, like he was listening to the whole thing that was going on. And so we'll end there as you know that you've been listened in on for we don't know how long. All right. So there we go. Kickoff of the new story arc. We are in a paradise, Antigua and the Caribbean League, circa Shadowrun. Chuck, anything you want to plug there?
Yeah, if you swing by twitch.tv/Defenders of Cobalt this Wednesday, 9 p.m. Central, we've got some more Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We're off on Friday, so go watch Jeff or Bert instead of us. And then Saturday, 9 p.m. Central, over on twitch.tv/Goodman Games Official, we're back to Crypt of the Devil Lich, 15th level, 5th ed dungeon crawl. So check that out too.
Oh, nice. Jeff, what do you got going on?
Yeah, so twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers. Tomorrow night, Monday, you can catch Chuck and Bert and myself. We're playing Ultraviolet Grasslands. On Friday, we are doing Delta Green, Impossible Landscapes. And on Saturday, we're doing Blaze in the Dark. Also this week, starting on Thursdays, for just like, I don't know, like 4 weeks, I think, 4 or 5 weeks, supposedly. We'll see. I'm running another Delta Green game over on Garblight Games, so you can kind of check that out there as they're doing like a short little operation as they've been bugging me to run Delta Green, so I'm doing it. Leave me alone.
Good for you. Someone should do it.
Yes.
Dion, you got some stuff going on.
Yeah, I've been playing through Arc the Lad 2. I am a little more than halfway through it, I'd like to say. But those side quests are painful. Otherwise, I play D&D with a whole bunch of my friends. This Monday, you can find me on Featherfall Tabletop doing some Rime of the Frost Maiden, 5th edition. And then I'm going to be on vacation for about a week. I am traveling across the country to go visit my friend and fellow streamer, Awesome Age. And we're going to have some wonderful vaccinated fun together in the desert. So I'm going to be taking the week off of streaming and being on streams, except for Saturday. You might catch me on Folsham Arts channel doing Happiest Apocalypse on Earth with Age. So we're playing ourselves. It's great.
Nice. Jake, what do you got going on?
Well, not a whole lot, really. I'll be hanging out with Chuck and the Defenders of Kobold as we continue putting out stuff throughout the week.
And this stream isn't cool enough to get an advertisement from Jake, so we'll have to give you the meow sound on that one. But if you found us, you know where we are, twitch.tv/SteamSteelMurder. We go ahead and stream Tuesdays, First Edition Dungeons & Dragons, Fridays, BX Dungeons & Dragons, and Sundays, sometimes it's this, sometimes it's other fun stuff. We got some Gamma World going on, got some GURPS Traveler going on. Soon, sometime during the week, will be a Call of Cthulhu game, at least for Halloween, if not regularly. But thanks for watching, guys. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.